Hello everyone, welcome back to MixBus TV, mixing and mastering tutorials on YouTube. Fourth and last part of our how to rescue a mix with stem mastering. We've seen in the previous episodes the processing going on the drum stem, bass stem, electric guitar stem, and now we're gonna take a look at our master bus. For this song I had, as we've seen before, drums, bass, guitars, lead vocals, background vocals, effects, and guitar solo, but I'm not allowed to play you the whole song, so we're gonna just listen to the instrumental mix. So let's quickly hear again how the mix was before all the processing, what I was given to begin with, and then we're gonna listen to the final result, so how the mix sound after all the processing on each stem and on the master fader, which is today's episode. So this is how it sounded before. And this is after. Okay, so we've already seen the processing on the stems for drums, bass, guitars, and here is what happened on the master fader. So we're gonna bypass the processing only on the master fader, leaving the other processing on, and compare it without the master fader. With the master fader. Okay, so big difference, but one of the main differences is obviously the level, so the overall volume, which is of course not matched, because one of the purposes of mastering and stem mastering is to make the mix louder. So let's bypass all the processing and let's take a look at each plugin individually. The first one is a multiband compression, Pro MB Fab Filter. What did I do is I used two bands, one to control the low end, one to control the mid-high frequency range here. So let's hear it with or without. As you can see, the first thing to notice is I didn't use any makeup gain, not on this band, not on this other band. So the overall volume after this first processing is slightly lower. This low band here is set at around 80 Hertz and it has a range of -6, a pretty fast attack and a medium fast release. So what I wanted is just a little bit of transients to pass through, but the bottom end to be controlled. Let's hear just this one band. Okay, so this is what is being pushed down, pretty much triggered by the kick only. And if you look at the scale, the gain reduction is not that much, it's max 2 dB, not even. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next band here, which is set with a center frequency at around 5K and the range is minus 2.3 dB, so very, very little, and with a medium to slow attack, because I didn't want the compressor to catch the peaks of the snare drum too much. So this way the snare drum pretty much passes through, but everything else in that range that has energy is getting slightly controlled. As you will see, this band is barely moving at all. Release is medium fast, and let's solo this. Okay. This is a pretty high energy frequency range here. There's a lot of stuff going on, especially guitars and cymbals. But as you can see, it's really barely moving. Okay, just a little bit of control. And this was our first processing, so multiband compression. Let's go to the next one. And this is the first EQ. Again, even here, very, very subtle processing. We have a cut at 20 Hertz and a little dip at 200, around 200 of not even 2 dB. Another dip at 600 of 1 dB, and another cut at 1.8K, another dB here, and limiting the eye hand at 30 Hertz. So let's hear it with or without. Okay, so it makes it a little smoother, the overall sound. And let's quickly listen to each band. Little bit of overtone from the snare. Little bit of boxiness here to get rid of. A little bit of harshness from the guitars. Okay, it makes everything sit a little bit better. Let's go to the next EQ. Now, for this one, I remember clearly using the match EQ function. So I analyzed the reference mix that the client gave me. But once I had the automatic adjustments, I only used the bands that I felt they were important and they were actually making the mix better, not only closer to what the reference was. And there were 3 bands only, and I used at 44% what the suggestion from the EQ match was. So let's hear it with and without. Okay, so this was our second EQ, and then we have the compressor. I used Waves SSL G-Master bus compressor. As you can see, the settings, attack is a 10, auto release, which I like particularly, 4 ratio, and threshold is relative but is a 10, and with just 1.2 dB of makeup gain, which is about how much I am compressing. So if you take a look at the gain reduction meter, you will see it's barely moving. Let's hear it with and without. Okay. I really like this compressor, even with just a little bit of gain reduction and just a little bit of makeup gain. It makes the track pop out a little more. It makes it immediately more snappy, more aggressive, especially if you keep the attack on the slow side, it really makes everything pop out. So pretty simple but effective. Let's go to the third EQ, which is again a few cuts here and there just to massage the track a little more and most likely to make it closer to the reference. Let's hear a winner without. Okay, as you can see, I rather using more than one EQ in very small amount more than using just one EQ to do all the work. So let's see what we have. The first one is the only boost that we have is a half dB boost, shelve at 165, a cut at 250 of about half a dB, a 1 dB and a half cut at 1.6K, and another cut of not even 1 dB at 4K. So let's hear each band. This is the boost. A little bit of boxiness. Still harshness in this area. And here too. Without. With. Okay, so a little warmer, both because we cut a little bit on this area here and both because we have this boost, this shell boost down here 165. Next in the chain is Pro DS. So a de-esser on the master fader. Let's hear with and without, and then we'll check out the settings. Okay, so this was mostly for the vocals, which we are not hearing. So it doesn't really make sense to go in details in this one, but as you can see from the graphic, it's catching the cymbals splash quite a lot. See here? Okay, so it's helping with the splashy cymbals. And last in chain is Pro L, a limiter. This is just for level. The style I use is dynamic, which enhance the transients before limiting. Look ahead is pretty fast, and when you set it in this way, in this red area, you pretty much are using this as a clipper. The attack is very slow and a 42 milliseconds release. So this is going to give us a pretty big difference in loudness. So let's hear it without. With. Okay, as you can see, I'm not limiting more than 3 dB top. Mostly is 1 dB the whole time. But if you notice, the difference in volume is quite a lot. And this is because I like to hit my master bus with a lot of headroom. Okay, I don't want to end up at the end of my mix or my stem mastering with the master fader close to clipping when I don't have a headroom to do anything, nor EQ or compression, and there's no reason for that. We will talk about this in another video. So the level difference is due to the fact that I hit my master bus at a moderate level to begin with. If you look at the meter, okay, I'm in the yellow, so applying this 9 dB of gain here, it makes a lot of difference in level, but in reality, I'm just limiting a couple of dBs. Okay, quick experiment. If I lower the output of minus 9 dB, which is exactly how much I'm boosting, we will hear what the limiting is doing better without the level difference distracting us. So without. Okay, it's pretty transparent. I mean, you can hear the snare getting a little bit squashed, but there will always be some sort of compromise when you are limiting. Before we go, let's hear once again before and after the whole processing. So this was it for our Stem Mastering series tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the series. I hope it was informative. If you like this video and the series, please click the like button, share, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching and see you next time.